Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Basing with Clemoniak. Are you looking for a Necromunda or Mad Max inspired base? Or maybe something to base your Gazland cars? Well, lucky you, we are making a badland highway base today. The very first step for today is to actually build the road. And for that, I'll use cork sheets, tear a piece that fit your base. My personal tip is to make a piece that goes slightly over the base. And use some of the scraps to represent bits of asphalt breaking off the road. Once the core glued, I'll clip off the overhanging part before sanding for a smoother finish. With the cork in place, let's apply some mud texture on top of it to make the gritty asphalt look. While the asphalt is drying, let's switch to the badland part by applying some crackling texture on it. Since I'm looking for small cracks, I won't apply PVA glue before this step, but I'll probably cover this technique in a future video. And don't forget, wipe the excess of crackling paint on the base rim for a better finish. I've waited for the crackling paint to be fully dried before applying some sand texture on top of it to make some texture variation for the desert part. Now I've primed it with black, but since you're probably planning to put a mini on it, glue it onto the base before priming. Let's start painting our base now. I'll begin with a base coat of Mechanicus Standard Grey on the asphalt, followed by a base coat of Zandri Dust on the desert part. Next, let's shade everything with Agrax Earthshade before moving on to the dry brushing part. For the highlights, I start by dry brushing the original color of each section. It might not look like much at first, but this is the key for building a smooth highlight. Once that's done, my things to make the desert warmer is to lightly dry brush upgrowth hides over it. I'll also add a touch of it on the asphalt, as if the sand were starting to creep over the road. One last dry brush of Ushapti bone on the ground and on the patches of the road, and our desert is looking good. Now it's time for the fun part, the road line marking. This step will really take our base from a simple one to an advanced one. No need for pro gear, just use a piece of tape cut in half, place them where you want your line to be, and it will do the work perfectly. Next, I dab heavily some Everland Sunset to cover the line before taking off the tape. I've used yellow here, but for a white line, an off-white like Celestra Grey would work nicely. To finish off the asphalt, I'll dry brush Rackard Flesh over the entire road and on top of the marking to complete the highlights. And for an extra touch of realism, dab some Mechanicus Grey on the line for a shipping paint effect. It's super easy and it brings your base to the next level. My final touch will be adding some burnt tuff next to the road and on top of it to show nature slowly reclaiming her territory. If your tufts are too big to your liking, here are my personal tips. Just tear them in half, it will hold well thanks to their adhesive bottom. And don't forget to press them down with a small tool to make sure it sticks properly. And here we are, our badland highway base is finished. It will be a perfect use for a Gazland, Necromunda or Mad Max inspired miniatures. That's all for this episode of Basing with Clemoniak. I'll do more of this basing tutorial, so drop a comment of which base you'd love to see next. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like. And remember, any kind of support is really appreciated. Alright everyone, it was Clemoniak, and I see you next time.